So our next two guests are joining together to introduce a part of an act that they call a key marker for reconciliation. And for more on that, let's welcome in Kansas Senator Roger Marshall and New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Good morning to you both. Senator, I want to start with you. I know you and the Congresswoman are working towards the No Subsidies for Gender Transition Procedures Act. This prohibits federal funds from going into gender transition procedures, but it wouldn't consider the procedures health care under the IRS code. So why is that so important to include it in reconciliation?
Well, good morning and happy May Day to everybody as well. Look, we can save American taxpayers about $200 million a year by eliminating federal spending on transgender surgeries, transgender medications in Medicare, Medicaid, the military, the VA, the ACA as well. And why it's important to this reconciliation bill, this is one of the few times on the Senate we can get something done with 50 votes. Usually it takes 60, but in this particular case we can get 50. And again, we can save American taxpayers $200 million. And just to finish up, this is way more than about the money. To me, this is about the heart of America, the soul of America, these irreversible procedures that cause chronic pain. And we can talk more about that later.
Yeah, and as a physician, I know you've told us multiple times on this program how dangerous these procedures are, especially for young people. Congresswoman, 25 states include these transgender procedures in their Medicaid policies. It's hard to believe. Do you anticipate any problems getting this included in the final bill?
Well, we're working on that. I'm a member of the Ways and Means Committee, and we've been doing this every day. And next week, we're going to hopefully start our markup and see where we can actually be responsible to the taxpayer money. As Senator mentioned, $200 million we're spending in taxpayer money. Every bit counts as we're trying to reduce spending. We're trying to unleash American energy. We're trying to reduce taxes. We're trying to put the border in order and make sure that all those things that we're doing and President Trump has done in this first 100 days are codified into law. And we're going to do this in one big, beautiful bill. And it's important that we do this and get a buy-in from both the Senate and the House and get this on President Trump's desk by July 4th. We're on a very accelerated timeline, and we've got to do these things. Every dollar counts, and the U.S. tax dollars have been wasted on so many things that the U.S. taxpayers do not agree with. And so we're going to do this as we go through the process and make sure we find all the cuts we can as we face a $36 trillion deficit and debt and deficit. I came into office originally as a freshman with Senator Marshall when he was in the House. We were at 19 trillion. We're at 36 trillion in a few short years. We have an unsustainable debt, and we need to find ways to cut that.
Yep. Yeah, you know, Senator, the Congresswoman just mentioned this. Speaker Johnson wants the final package to be passed by Memorial Day. Leader Thune is hoping for July 4th. I mean, what do you think? Where are we with this? And do you think yesterday's slowing GDP report on the economy might help light a fire under lawmakers to get it done sooner rather than later?
Well, if anybody can pull it off to be our classmate, Speaker Mike Johnson. I mean, everyone's saying there's betting against him that he can get it done by Memorial Day, but we have a lot of faith in Mike and the president able to bend arms as well. Really, I think we should focus on what we agree upon. We agree, I think, Claudia, that we want to make the Trump tax cuts permanent, that we want to fund the military, we want to fund the president's border priorities as well, maybe take care of the debt limit as well. And beyond that, it's all gravy to me. So I think we can get some of this done by Memorial Day, get it to us over here in June, and maybe by July 4th it'll be on the president's desk. It's a big task, but I think we're up to it.
Yeah, and Congresswoman, we also know that House GOP members are going to be zeroing in today on the proposal to increase the $10,000 limit on the deduction for state and local taxes, also known as SALT. So there's a high-stakes meeting today that could very much impact this reconciliation bill. If there's a standoff, could we see a major delay? What do you think?
I don't think there's going to be a delay here. I think we're going to find a compromise. Look, all of us who come from the so-called state and local tax deduction or SALT states, that's New York, California, Illinois, states that burden their taxpayers with excessive taxes like New York, hitting a $255 billion budget this year, $15 billion more than last year. They're definitely going to raise taxes in New York, my home state. But we have to start looking at ways that we can give relief to our taxpayers. And we met with President Trump, and he's supportive of SALT. It's on his special list of his priorities, whether it's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, giving a break to seniors with Social Security, a bunch of other things, President Trump understands the burden of state and local taxes on his original home state of New York. And so we're going to find the sweet spot, as President Trump asked us to do. We did this in the last Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, of which both Senator Marshall and I were part of. We're going to do it again, and we're going to find some relief to make sure that we can get our very narrow majority, which is skillfully managed by our best, our best speaker, obviously. We love him. He was our classmate when we came in as freshmen with Senator Marshall. This is really important that we find a way for a win. Nobody's going to get everything they want, but we're going to find wins in this bill to make sure that we get the president's priorities, a mandate from the American people. 77 million people voted for the priorities of President Trump, and we're going to make sure that we do that. And this is going to be expertly and skillfully done by Speaker Mike Johnson and Leader Thune in the Senate.
Yeah, to your point, Congresswoman, that not everyone's going to get what they want. You saw the president during his rally in Michigan on Tuesday night. RNC Chairman Michael Whatley talked about it on our show yesterday morning. The warning that came out from the president that if you're going to be a grandstander, hold out, try to hold this process up, you should be primaried. I mean, do we get a sense that, whether it's the Freedom Caucus or maybe the moderates who want SALT, that anyone's going to be able to derail this thing?
Look, I don't think you can blame anyone on either side. We have, individuals with a very narrow majority, and there is some performance art going on. It's on the both, the left, the right, the Democrats, the Republicans. I think the president is tired of that. I think the American people see through it. We need professionals who are going to work to do the very best we can to get the very best product out. And I think that's what the president's focusing on. And I think that's really what he wants. And I think that we have to stop with this performance art and really do the professional work that the people sent us here to do. And there are a lot of outstanding people that serve with me and also with Senator Marshall. They're fantastic in the House and Senate that really want to see results, and we're going to be results driven. And I think that's why it's so important that we have someone like the president who knows how to run a business, who knows how to make a deal, who says we need to make a deal. And again, that's what we're going to be doing, and that's what the Ways and Means Committee has been doing. By the way, for almost a year, we've been working on what we would do if we can win the presidency and win back both the House and Senate. And we're working every single day on this issue. Every single day we're working to try to find the magic formula to get this done with a narrow majority in the House and Senate and to get it through what is called the reconciliation process, because this is the most important point. Not one Democrat in the entire House of Representatives or Senate, not one Democrat in elected office in this country on the federal side wants to cut taxes for the American people. Not one of them. They're not going to join with us in cutting taxes, and we're going to have to do that hard work by ourselves, unfortunately.
Yeah, Senator, real quickly, the same question to you. Do you think anyone in the Senate, say those who want Ukraine funding or more funding for the military, I mean, they could hold this thing up as well?
Look, everyone has their own priorities. They have to represent their own state, their own district as best they can. But at the end of the day, well, we need to be satisfied with getting 90% of what we want. Unfortunately, every state can't get everything they want. I think this is why we have true leadership. John Thune is being a great leader through this. He's doing a great job listening. Chairman Crapo over on our side on the Finance Committee is doing a good job of listening. The Senate, the president's having groups of us in weekly, if not daily, trying to get to that sweet spot. Again, I think that for this moment, Donald Trump is the president of the United States to make a great deal for all of us and to make America great again.
Such a treat having you both with us this morning. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Well,